We love to talk about success as a singular event. Losing 50 pounds, building a profitable business, or standing at the summit of a mountain. We frame these as instantaneous victories. When we fixate entirely on that final outcome, the distance between where we are and where we want to be looks insurmountable. The sheer scale of the effort required creates a psychological friction that causes most of us to abandon our routines within weeks. But the most significant achievements in life are almost never standalone events. They are the sum total of thousands of invisible, unglamorous moments where we quietly chose to do something 1% better or 1% worse. Author James Clear frames this dynamic through a financial lens. He argues that habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. In the exact same way that money multiplies over time, the effects of your daily actions multiply as you repeat them. Real transformation doesn't come from a once-in-a-lifetime burst of motivation. It comes from the relentless, daily aggregation of tiny choices that seem entirely insignificant in the moment. To see how this math actually plays out, consider a classic thought experiment. You are offered a choice. Take $3 million in cold hard cash right now, or take a single magic penny that doubles in value every day for 31 days. If you choose the penny, the first few weeks are incredibly deceptive. By day 20, your penny has compounded into just over $5,200. You are watching the person who took the $3 million living large, and your progress feels invisible. But you just have to wait for the mathematical timeline to finish. On day 31, that compounding effect suddenly explodes. The penny surpasses $10.7 million, dwarfing the initial $3 million pile. This chart shows how that exact same math governs our habits. We are mapping the 1% rule over a single calendar year. The red line represents getting 1% worse each day, steadily declining towards zero. The green line represents getting 1% better. Because of the way exponential curves work, that green line doesn't just show a slight improvement. Mathematically, if you get 1% better every day for a year, you end up exactly 37 times better than when you started. This flat slope at the beginning of the curve is where most habit systems fail. Without the feedback of an immediate reward, it is easy to abandon a process that is mathematically destined to produce a breakthrough. The mechanics of the compound effect extend far beyond bank accounts. They govern the daily investment of our time and our emotions. The late business philosopher Jim Rohn observed a stark difference in how people treat these resources. Ordinary people simply spend their time and emotions, reacting to whatever the day throws at them. Highly successful people invest them, expecting a future return. For proof of this investment philosophy in action, look at the strategy of Dave Brailsford, the former performance director of British Cycling. He employed a concept he called the aggregation of marginal gains. Brailsford didn't hunt for one massive, revolutionary upgrade to his cyclists' training. Instead, he stripped down the entire process of riding a bike and looked for a 1% improvement in every conceivable area. He optimized the ergonomics of bike seats, but he also hired surgeons to teach his riders the best way to wash their hands to avoid catching a cold, and brought in specific mattresses for better sleep hygiene. Those micro-investments in time, gear, and recovery compounded. They culminated in British cycling absolutely dominating the world's most grueling bicycle race, the Tour de France, winning it 5 times in 6 years. Mastering the compound effect requires looking at your daily habits through this exact lens. You have to ruthlessly audit the micro-investments of your time and emotions, evaluating them just as strictly as a portfolio manager handles capital. When you first start making these small investments, you are fighting gravity. Author Darren Hardy refers to the eventual tipping point as Big Mo, or momentum. Breaking your initial inertia requires massive energy, but once your compounding choices kick in, the system begins to drive itself. Setting a massive, distant goal actually works against this momentum. The constant comparison between your current reality and a cowering end goal generates friction. It highlights what you lack, and that psychological gap causes burnout before momentum can ever take over. The Japanese philosophy of Kaizen offers the ultimate antidote to this goal fatigue. It shifts the focus entirely away from the finish line, centering instead on continuous, tiny daily system upgrades, a relentless ripple of marginal improvements. To harness Kaizen, you have to take 100% responsibility for your daily choices by actively measuring them. Whether it's a spreadsheet or a physical journal, Tracking transforms invisible, easily ignored habits into hard, visible data. When the focus moves from the outcome to the process, your identity changes. You stop being a person chasing a marathon and become a person who runs. You aren't pursuing a goal, you're maintaining a system. The ability to transform your life doesn't lie in a grand vision of who you want to become. It is found in the relentless, unsexy execution of the 1% choices you make today.